Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky, back with a blast from the past. So, yes, remember a long time ago, those of you who've been with me from the beginning, when this palette was first released, I was going through all the Zodiac signs and creating a look for them because it was a fun idea, and it still is. Here's the thing, I've kind of realized that and I've seen this with other people, it's easy to get bored with what you do over and over with all the new releases. So my mindset this coming year is just doing what I want to do. Because I think if you enjoy doing it, other people will follow. That's what I want to do. And I'm still going to be doing new stuff. But today I was going to be filming for new stuff. And I went, no, you know what I'm feeling? I'm feeling this. So, I'm trying to think. I think the last one I did was Sagittarius. I am almost positive. I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long. So I think the next sign that is up is Capricorn. And even if it's not too bad, we'll get back to Sagittarius. But we did Sagittarius. Doesn't matter. Capricorn. This video will probably go up a little bit earlier in the Capricorn season. It is near Christmas time when Capricorns come alive. And, they're always alive. That's their season. So with Capricorn, that is the going into winter, going to the, it's for a lot, it's a harsher season, cold, bitterly cold, people want to stay indoors, it can be a little bit harsh, especially in the Northeast where I am at. So, that kind of season, and I don't see it as a bad thing. I do not see it as a bad thing. And here's the thing about Capricorn, before I get into the look, is the Capricorn, it's one of the most misunderstood signs. If you've seen my other videos, you know that some signs are extremely misunderstood, and Capricorn is one of these signs. I feel like, I listed them. There's like Aries and Scorpio, because it's been a while, and Gemini to a degree, Virgo for sure, and Capricorn and others, but you can watch those videos to see that. And I feel the Capricorn's also in there to a degree because people take them as these serious people who are hardworking, which they are, but just make them seem kind of like a stick in the mud. If you watch videos, astrological videos and things, I think people don't realize the true charm that is Capricorn. So I'm going to actually go in with, I think, oh, I forgot. It's been so long since I've worked with this, with Sagittarius here. It's, and I always put it to the corner because it just makes it easier as well if you know how this goes. Some of you are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're back. This darn piece of hair. I know. So, we just want to go in with something cool, or not cool. This is definitely not cool, but warm tone. There we go. In the crease. This is, okay, this, I've kind of thought about what I'm going to do. Here's the thing. Capricorn is, as I said, the cardinal earth sign, and it appears at the end of December, which I also said. So heading into those beautiful winter days and nights with not much light. Yes, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of people love winter. Nothing wrong with that. So Capricorn is a goat. This was like, what? I just went there. Yeah, a little out of practice, but they're a goat. And here's the thing with it's a mountain goat specifically. And if you look at the glyph, it's kind of interesting because it does look like that with the little fishy tail. It's kind of interesting. But the goat makes sense for Capricorn. And here is why, my friend. Because with Capricorn, a goat is very plodding. A goat is very patient because it's up in the mountains. And if it's not patient and takes its time, bad things will happen. Like the goat will fall off the mountain and splat. I know, I'm an animal lover, don't want that to happen. Don't worry, Capricorn's not going to allow that to happen. But that is why the plodding goat makes sense. It has horns, pretty sure it does. Yeah, mountain goats. I'm thinking rams, but they do. And so they're ready to, you know, throw a few punches if they need to. Okay, they're not going to mess around. But they're very patient, and they know what needs to be done to get to the goal. And so that's why the goat works quite well for Capricorn. I know some people are like, the goat? It's not a bad thing. I like goats. Actually, they're really cute. So, you know, they're great. It's just sometimes I know people are Capricorn, they're like, and I'm the goat. And I'm like, the goat's awesome. I once dealt with a goat. I was in this music, I know, going off on a tangent, in this studio recording something, and it was in the middle of nowhere, and this guy had a goat that would come in called Blackberry, and it totally crashed the party. But they had to be careful because he would eat through the wires, and it's very expensive to have a music studio. But this goat was just awesome, and he was not taking no for an answer, but he was freaking awesome. So Blackberry, I still remember Blackberry after all this time, and he's near and dear to my heart. So is Capricorn. So Capricorn, again, is ruled by, or is, the glyph is a goat. It is actually ruled by the planet Saturn. And this is where things get a little bit crazy. If you know anything about astrology, Saturn is a tough planet. It's a tough placement. It is the planet of the taskmaster, which makes sense for Capricorn. It can be where the focus of your life may be, or where difficult things are going to be, and depending on what house Saturn goes into, this is very complicated. So let's just go back to, it's the taskmaster. It's the things that you have to learn in this lifetime, the things that may be difficult for you in this lifetime. So it can be a tough placement, and it in some ways can make Capricorn a little bit serious in some people's eyes. So what I'm going to do is, normally these colors didn't match very well for the signs. Capricorn sure did. Capricorn looks freaking great. It looks perfect. This is the one sign that nailed it. Nailed it. Hell yeah. So what I'm going to do, though, because I love Capricorn and I want to make him a little bit fiery. This is Libra. This should have been Aries, but whatever. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. Like I said, this is going to be a dark look. I have no clue what I'm doing. This could end up being a mess. Just work with me here. This could be a huge disaster, but which doesn't really work for Capricorn. They would have had this planned out in every single way that could have gone wrong, and they would have figured it out, and it would have been perfect. So, but I'm a haphazard Aries. So there you go. So Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, so some people may see them as being a little bit serious, which in some ways they are. Here's the thing, the further you go in the astrological wheel, so Aries and Taurus and Gemini and Cancer are the babies. Then you have the next four that are the middling, you know, children. And then you have Capricorn and that whole grouping, the last four that are at the end of the wheel, which means they're a bit more wise. They've been there, done that. And so they are a little bit more serious, you know, and that's just the way it is. So Capricorn does tend to be very serious in a lot of ways, because joking around is very cool and all until stuff doesn't get done. And that's the purpose of Capricorn in a lot of ways, is to be the worker bee. You know, they're not just going to be a worker bee. You know, they also want to manage. They're not going to be a worker bee for long. They'll always be a worker bee, but they're going to make it to manager. That's what their goal is. They're not going to be on the bottom for long. So I am going to go with Capricorn here. And this is such a great color. And this is why I know this could be a complete disaster. I'm putting it next to Aries. Or that's not Aries. What should have been Aries, but is Libra. So why, I don't know. It just kind of struck me when I look at this palette that this is what I wanted. So we're going to go ahead and put that here. I don't know why, but I don't see Capricorn being a boring look. And that's just it. Capricorn is anything but boring. Just because they're hard workers, and they are. They're very, I've known several Capricorns. These guys get stuff done. They can be viewed very seriously, but this isn't always the case, because I have known quite a few And even though Capricorn and Aries aren't supposed to get along, I actually get along with Capricorns really well. And I feel like I like Capricorn. I really do. Their sense of humor is a little bit different. So I'm going to go in with this one and again put it to the corner. Capricorn can be very serious, but they realize what needs to be done. And that's the issue, is that other signs will just kind of goof around. And it's like, this isn't going to get done if everybody keeps doing this, you know? So they're serious about it, and they want you to be serious about it and be proud of your work. You don't get anywhere just doing nothing and being, you know, a schlub. Get your job done. There's a good time for fun later, but, you know, this is what needs to be done. And that's why Capricorn is good at focusing and getting stuff done to move through the ranks quickly. And they have a good idea of how to obtain it, you know, where a lot of signs don't necessarily have that. You know, they're one of the managerial signs of the Zodiac, which we need them. You know, Aries in a lot of ways thinks it's the manager, and in some ways it is. But Capricorn's the one that's really going to know how to get people focused. Sometimes without the niceties of Aries, though Aries can be a jerk, because Capricorn doesn't have time for that. Capricorn doesn't have time to babysit, and it's like, get your job done. You know what your job is. Why aren't you doing it? That's how they look at it. It's like, I don't have time to coddle you. You know your job. I mean, they're not going to like throw you in the situation. They're a good manager, but they're definitely going to say, you know what you're supposed to do. Or I trained you. Why is this an issue? So just know that, you know, they want you to be able to do your job without them having to babysit. Capricorn is not the sign of babysitting. They're not having your crap. So, you know, it makes them a good manager, but sometimes because of that, they can be a little bit stubborn with the way that they do things. And they see it as, okay, this is how it's supposed to be done. And they get stubborn with it. They really can get stubborn with it. So, or see it one way and not necessarily be as flexible as, you know, as some would like. But in some ways it makes them a good manager, but just know Capricorn that sometimes it's okay, you know, to look at things a different way, to get other people's perspective. But they're probably like, no, I know what I'm doing. So they're like, no, Binky, no. So I'm kind of liking where it's going for. I wish there was something a little bit more ruddy to go up on top. I'm having a hard time getting that Capricorn to work, which is weird because Capricorn always wants to work. But I went in with a little bit of Scorpio to try to redden this up a bit. It's not exactly the color I was looking for, but whatever. I just want to make it a little bit more ruddy. That's actually going in well. I actually kind of like that. What I'm finding is that I'm having a really hard time with this. I think I'm out of practice. Which is weird because I feel like my skills overall have gotten somewhat better since when I first started this, but I don't know. That's not what you're here for, though. So, no, it's starting to go. I like it. I like it. I'm going to go back in with that Libra. I really want to show some of that red. I just think it's really cool. So, and that red kind of represents to me the fieriness of Capricorn, because they are fiery, damn it. They can be, and they have a temper. They have a temper, so don't mess with them, especially if you're messing with their time and what you're supposed to be doing. They're going to be just annoying. Don't annoy them. Just do your damn job. So it sounds like they're always serious, and they can be serious. Actually, children who are Capricorns tend to be extremely serious when growing up compared to other kids. So if you are a Capricorn, there is a big chance that you might have been seen very serious when you were a child, and more so than other people, that your parents really knew that you would take care of things, and so they didn't worry about you too much. You were the good kid in that they knew that they could trust you. The other ones were probably entrusted to you. You know, the teachers trusted you in school. You meant well. They also have a streak of don't mess with me though, and if somebody does, they're not going to take it, you know, so they will fire back. These are people who, it's interesting because in certain situations, if they don't care, they can be the most chill people and just go, I don't care, because they really don't care. But on the other hand, certain things could really piss them off, and then they do care, and then you'd better run because they do have quite a temper. Okay, so my cat, who's a Taurus, tried to get up into the window and bonked her head. Something spooked her and she bonked her head. And so then I was like, oh my gosh, I love that kitty. she lives up to the Taurus name. She loves to eat, she loves to lay in the sun, she loves a very relaxed, happy, comfortable life. Gets her in trouble sometimes, but you know, here we are. So yes, so Capricorn though, you know, I don't know exactly where I was, but Capricorn can be seen, you know, as being very serious, but in a lot of ways they're not. And here's the thing is, they have a really wicked sense of humor. And that's what a lot of people don't necessarily know, is that they really do. It's not going to be the sense of humor that maybe a little bit more childish, like Aries at times. Yeah, but you know, or even Taurus. That's the funny thing about the signs at the bottom of the zodiac, is if you see them all together, they're really kind of silly and funny. You know, while the ones up higher are a little bit, you know, maybe a little bit more intellectual at times. Not saying that the other ones can't be, they can, but, you know, it's fun to watch for sure. So Capricorn can. It's just what I have noticed with them is that their sense of humor, of course, could be extremely dry, going in with their own color. I don't even know if it's showing up here. They could be, their sense of humor could be extremely dry and sarcastic, which doesn't always go well with certain people. For me, it does. I think it's hysterical. I have had many close Capricorn friends growing up, and they are just funnier than hell. They really are. It's just in a dry sense of humor. And it also is a very intelligent sense of humor. It's not stupid. These are not dumb people. These are people who have done their research. And I'm going to go in with is that Libra? Scorpio. I wish there was a redder one, but there's not. So Scorpio shall do. They before they attack, they're going to be really educated on what they're going after you with. They're not really one to lose a battle, and they won't lose a battle as far as they're concerned. Sometimes to the point, because I have a friend who does this, where it's kind of like, what, dude? Like, even if you've kind of proven, I mean, he's smart, and so he knows a lot about things, but every once in a while, because he doesn't want to be wrong, he'll like throw a Hail Mary and go, well, I found this article, and it's like the Onion. And you're like, dude, it's the Onion. No. But it's pretty rare. It's just they don't like to lose. It's very rare when you will hear a Capricorn say, I'm wrong. Or sometimes even, I'm sorry. That's just not who they are. They're more action-oriented. So it's like, okay, if they're wrong, it's hard for them to say sorry, but what they'll do is all of a sudden you'll have a new gift or something. You know, it's like, what's this? Oh yeah, Capricorn. Capricorn bought this for me because they knew they were wrong. Capricorn will do it by showing rather than saying sometimes. So that may frustrate some. It's just kind of who they are. You know, it's hard for them. So these are the managers. These are the people who think that they have it all together. Whew, that is really, that's fun. Let me tell you. I'm really going into that. So I'm going to clean this up because what I'm finding is I haven't used these in a while. And I started doing this more at the beginning of when I started my channel. And what I'm finding is that these are okay. They're not as quite as, I mean, I do remember them being this way, but they're a little bit, I'm finding them difficult today. I don't know why, but I'm finding them a tad bit difficult to work with. And they're not blending as well as I would like. So I'm going to go in with Aquarius here and put this in the corner. I'm just feeling a brightening of this. I love this. This Aquarius is still one of my favorite colors in this damn palette. I do remember the love of that. But this just brightens it up. It's kind of that spark. And it's a little bit of like this green gold color, which Capricorn will like. because this is the gold that's going to be in their bank account, because they got goals and they're going to make them happen. Don't doubt them. So this is basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to just fan it out a little bit or blend it a little bit, and then we'll go on with the rest of this look. This video is going to be extremely long, which Capricorn's like, yeah, it should be. It's Capricorn. So let me put on the rest of my eyes, and then we will finish the look. Okay, so this is basically what the final eye looks like. I want to put the rest of the makeup on, and you can put whatever you want. But I kind of want to go in with a darker look. I don't want a rosy look. I'm going to use the new Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer, actually, which I know it's kind of weird, but I just want more of a bronzy effect, if that makes sense. I don't want anything too rosy. And that's going on really well, actually. I just feel like that represents Capricorn a lot. Now, I think sometimes people, so just so you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep putting that in, and then I'm going to put Flexitarian on for the highlighter, just so I can keep talking. The thing about Capricorn is they're very shielded with their emotions at times. I will be honest with you, they're not always good with dealing with other people's emotions either. This may be one of the reasons why they won't be like necessarily the best psychologists and things, because they can be a very much figure it out type people. Like, you know what? You got to man up and get it done, you know? So sometimes they're not going to be like Cancer, who can be very sympathetic in a lot of ways. And because of that, I think people will sometimes think they're kind of jerks, and that's far from the truth. They're just very cautious with who they choose to show that softer side to. So if you're a close friend, they will do anything for you. If you are a love interest or family, they will be there for you. Just making sure that looks decent. This is harder than I thought. So just know that they, you know, it depends. They're not going to give that to just anyone. That's something that's earned. They don't believe that, like, some signs could be a little bit more gullible and say, oh, well, you know, I trust people, or, you know, give people the benefit of the doubt. No, Capricorn's not going to do that. No, you have to earn that. That's something that's earned. And it's not that they won't be friendly or things. They will, but they're going to keep you at arm's length for a while. But once you're the friend, they'll do anything for you. Just be wary that it may not be necessarily in the way that you want it, in that it may be, there's this, it almost seems like they're detached at times. And it's not like they're detached, they're just careful with their emotions and feelings and who they choose to show that to. So that could throw people off sometimes. I've seen this a few times, and as somebody who, I'm not an overly emotional person at all. My Gemini side keeps me in check, but I can be sometimes, you know, I don't always go to my Capricorn friends I'll go for advice. They're really good for seeing things and giving advice. But if you want a shoulder to cry on, these are the people who are going to basically say, you know what, here's the facts. This is how it is. You got to man up to get through this, you know? So, but sometimes you don't always need that. So that's just something for Capricorn to look at. Just know that emotions are okay. And the thing is, they don't just do that to everyone. They do it to themselves. Sometimes even more so. They're actually worse on themselves. And that's what's frustrating sometimes. It's like, guys, they sometimes don't give themselves the room to feel and be emotional as well, because they're not going to give that advice to somebody if they're not going to take it, you know? And so I just want to say, be kind to yourself, because I found that sometimes Capricorns aren't always the kindest to themselves, because they are the workhorse and they feel that they have to be the strong one and the one that's in charge. I'm just putting that highlighter up there, and that's not the case at all. It's just not. It's okay to showing emotion and being vulnerable isn't weakness, and that's something that Capricorn needs to learn. Please learn it, because you deserve it. Life's too short to deprive yourself of certain things. So now I want to go in with something darker. I know, it's like we're going to take it even further. And this is called Decade by Lisa Eldridge, and I'm still working with these. But I want to try it with this. Now, yeah, It's going to be dark. And I don't care. I do find that these are hard to work with. You can see how sloppy this one on. I find that these lipsticks are really hard to work with. I know she has a cult following. But I'm going to be honest, these aren't my favorite formula. I know. Pretty colors, though. I mean, the colors are just absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. They really are. I love the lip colors. It's just the formula is not my favorite. So, yeah. So this is kind of what the final look looks like. I just want to fix up this lipstick because, damn, this formula. Okay, so this is the final look. This is it, and I'm pretty happy with it. I feel like this really represents Capricorn well, and the reason is because when you go into December, it's December through January, a big portion of January. It's one of the colder months, and a harsher month depending where you are in the world, but here in the Western Hemisphere, and so this to me is like dead of winter. This is that winter January child who is ready to take charge. Ready to take charge, get it done, maybe a little bit of a ball buster, but actually on the inside is a lot softer. You see the outward that is like, yeah, let's go. Let's get this done. The workhorse. Let's do it. No BS. But on the inside has a very soft side to it. And I think that's kind of what I think of when I think of January children. It's that tough exterior, and because it's cold out there, but there's this softness when you get inside the home, which is your safety net, and it's like that gentleness. And that's what Capricorn is. It's definitely there. And that's what the thing is, because I've known people who are like, I don't like Capricorns. They're this and this and this. Now, have you gotten to know one on a very deep level? And I have. I've never dated one. I don't think I would do well with a Capricorn dating-wise because I don't like routine. They like routine. They are, I can be a little bit crazy at times and woohoo! And that's the thing. Capricorn isn't necessarily a silly sign. And so, though they will find it amusing, and my Capricorn friends will laugh at my stupidity, they, and not that I'm stupid, but that I don't care if I look stupid, and I can be very childish. They'll find it funny, but they won't partake. They'll just film it and laugh about it later. Yeah, so, that's kind of Capricorn, but there's definitely a soft side to them and a gentle side once you get to know them. And these are people who go to the end of the earth for you, but you have to earn it. And that's something that is very important about Capricorn. You're seeing one side, but there is definitely a vulnerable side. They just don't like to show it, even to themselves. With my experience with Capricorn, like I said, I've worked with quite a few. I love working with Capricorns, and here's why. Aries and Capricorn are about getting stuff done. The difference is that Aries can get distracted, while Capricorn can keep Aries focused, and that's what's worked. These have worked as really good work people for me, working in projects. And when I went back to school a few years back, there was one that I went to school with, and she was great. We clicked immediately. Very serious in a lot of ways, but very funny in a very smart, clever way. Hard worker. She didn't do as well as she liked. She would get really upset with herself because certain things were a breeze for me. I was like, yeah. And so I noticed that she would get really upset because I would score higher on things, and she had worked just as hard, and sometimes it didn't go the way she wanted. And that could be a little bit upsetting to her. And she was a little hard on herself. I'm like, dude, you did really well. I don't know. So, but never angry. She was never angry at me or like bitter. It wasn't like that. It was more towards herself. It's more of an internal thing. So, yeah. So Capricorn, a little bit misunderstood, but I think it's such a great placement. It really is. And it really, if it's in your chart, if you have a lot of Capricorn, depending where it is, that's the point where you're going to be focused in life. And, where you're going to be really hardworking in that respect. But again, it could be a tough placement in that because it's ruled by Saturn. Sometimes there can be almost like they don't always feel like they belong, or they feel misunderstood in a lot of ways. But because they keep everything internalized, it can be very difficult sometimes. It could be a difficult sign, not because it's a bad sign, but because on themselves. Like I said, be kind to yourself because it can be a difficult placement at times. So the next sign that we are going to be going to is one of my absolute favorites. And this one is not misunderstood. It just is what it is. And even if it was misunderstood, they wouldn't care because they don't care. That's Aquarius. Yes, my ride or dies. I love Aquarians. I know Aquarians as soon as I meet them. My best friend in the whole world, he is an Aquarius. He is nutty. I love him. Two of my other close friends, Aquariuses. I attract Aquariuses. I love them. They're also in the dead of winter, but around Valentine's Day, around that section. But then they're heading into, so they're January into February. So it's still that deep winter. They're not heading into spring. No, that's Pisces. Aquarius is dead of winter, but they just go about it a little bit differently and less serious than Capricorn. They're the innovative sign. They're the quirky sign. They are quirky as hell. You can always kind of spot an Aquarius, and the main thing to take from it is they don't care. They don't care. They don't ever think that they look the fool because they don't know what that means. My friend just does whatever he wants. It's funny because sometimes he'll be coming over and I can hear him on the street singing before he gets here. He'll just be singing with his headphones at full voice, and I'm like, wow. It's something I wouldn't do, but he totally does. And he doesn't care, and he doesn't apologize for it. It's just who he is. He's extremely quirky. It throws some people off, especially the earth signs don't always like how woohoo he can be, but he doesn't apologize for it, and he doesn't care because Aquarius doesn't care. They're the Quirkmeister, and they're going to turn your world upside down and make you see things in a different way with their intellectual air sign self. Looking forward to it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this palette because none of it really screams Aquarius to me. We'll probably go in with Aries or Cancer. Yeah, but I don't know. We have to leave something for Pisces, so we can't get too crazy. I don't plan in advance. I had no clue what I was going to do, and that's one of the reasons why it took me a long time to get to Capricorn, because I didn't know what to do. I don't know. But we shall see. Not going to plan it. This should be fun. So until next time, have a wonderful day, my friends. Bye.